or when you are eventually. Happy Monday, hopefully. I know Monday just has that association of being not a great day, which sometimes is true. It is. Oh, I forgot to mute my phone. Sorry about that. And we'll go ahead and mute that. There we are. Move the phone aside. Yeah, Mondays, I'll admit, this Monday has been up and down so far. Not in any really bad way, not in a serious way. I can't really complain. I mean, you can always complain. Subscribe to earn drops. What is this garbage? What is this? Subscribe to earn drops. Get rewards by purchasing, gifting. Oh, is that just a message now that pops up? Okay. I guess. Nobody's here to see it, so did something happen with my Twitch account that now people can subscribe that they couldn't before? I don't know. I figured you could always subscribe, but apparently now you can subscribe to get drops. Whatever that means. I'm not going to pretend I know. All right. Anyway, I just need to get my reflector synced up, which should be, oh, I always forget I have to click that button. And then, for whatever reason, there is something that lags in terms of the refresh on this thing. I really don't know what it is, but it also really doesn't matter, so shrink that. Let's do a quick test. Test 1. And, oh, I'm muted. And let's do test, I can see it. Test 2. There we go. So it looks like everything's working. So let me move my keyboard out of my way so that I can put my iPad where I can actually, work on it. Amazing. What a great idea. Put that right there. Let's resituate this. And I think at this point, I just have to do 2 things. Sorry. Don't switch. I don't know why it always, it's probably a way to turn these things off, but it doesn't matter. I just have to spam all these different channels with the live stream info very quickly. Oh, somebody had told me that I had a typo. Well, it looks like it's okay. I was looking for that typo that Mr. Pruitt mentioned, but I don't see it, so I don't know. Was it here? Is the typo in here? Let me look. Oh, this. I have to sneeze. Oh, come on, get there quick enough to mute it. Quick, mute. Oh, I was muted. I gotta mute my. Or no, I'm not muted. Mute. Where is it? I was muting the wrong thing. Whoo! Muted just in time. Almost didn't make it. Live art stream, stop by and hang out by going.com/stream. No, this looks okay. Yeah, I don't see a typo there, so whatever I did last time, I must have fixed it. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I'm just sitting here babbling about nothing. Let's go ahead and do our opening, and we'll turn that off. I'm just making sure I have everything muted so you're not getting an echo. No, you're good. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna rub my eye really quick, and then we should see the background here. There it is. Good. Everything appears to be working. Okay. Let me get a quick drink of water here. Okay. And oh man, I think I have to sneeze again. Hold on. Let me mute myself. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Now I'm good. All right, let's toss our background back here. And hold on, bear with me a minute so that I can get my, I got to look at something very quickly here. Okay. There we are. Oh, boy. Yeah, wow. Anyway. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So, yeah, I realize the only thing I haven't put any color to is the actual, whatchamacallit, the eyelids. Let's go ahead and do that really quick. So let's get some eyelid color in here. We're going to go with kind of a, I don't know, I'm not really a, I don't know much about makeup. Interesting, they've changed the color. Yeah, they must have updated stuff with Twitch or something because these look different now. But whatever, it doesn't matter. That's who cares. But I'm going to go ahead and put the color behind the face color. And let's do kind of a reddish to go somewhat with the the lipstick, I guess. Let's see what this dark red looks like back here. Just block that in really quick. And, okay, yeah, that's definitely not going to be the final color, because I think that's a little too bright. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's actual... Yeah, that's bad. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me... Not to mention I have to fix the shadow line, so let's fix that first. So that would be... Not that, not that, not that, not that, not that. Where is it? Come on, I know you're here. I know you're here. There you are. Alright, let's fix this. So let's go here, and let's see what that size looks like. Ooh, that looks like the same size. Perfect. Actually, you know what I should do? You know, make this really easy on yourself. On myself. Let's just do that. I mean, I can finish that off, but hold on. Let me just erase the stuff I don't need here. Let's go ahead and get the paintbrush out, and we'll just do that. I mean, there's really no reason to reinvent the wheel here. Oh, I have to get rid of all those lines too. That's okay. That's easy. That's what we have big paintbrushes for. Let's make sure there's a little bit there. Yep, get rid of that. And there's still a little bit left, so let's just scrub all that out. Hold on, I'm watching. Hey, leave it. My dog is still wearing her cone of shame. Not cone. I don't know why they call it a cone of shame. It's not because she did anything wrong. She had surgery, so she has to wear a cone. I don't know why they call it a cone of shame. It's sort of a dumb thing. I mean, she didn't do. In her case, she didn't do anything wrong. She had to have 2 teeth removed, so that's not a cone of shame. That's a cone of you've got to protect yourself and your teeth and let them get better. So I'm not calling it that, cutie. I'm not calling it that. All right. That looks better for the shading to actually look accurate. All right, let's collapse these down. There we go. Oh, I forgot to post. I knew I forgot to do something. Yeah, something must have been updated because some of these colors look different now. Yes, I know I'm live on my own stream, but thank you. Let me just post this over on the blue skies so that if anybody cares over there, they can feel free to join in. I doubt they do, but in fairness, I should post it wherever I can. And let's do a post button. And we paste and we hit post. And come on, buddy. And up, there it goes. All right, now we're done. All right, so let's go ahead. Yeah, I think I don't want it to be just pure red. I'll pull the saturation. That looks better. That's better. Okay. Let's sample that color. Go one step up. Let's jump to our paintbrush, or our thick pen. Push a little bit of the saturation, and we'll push the brightness just a hair. There we go. Or no, wait, that shouldn't be it. That should be darker. Whoops, I reversed that. That's okay. You know what we're gonna do? Just go the opposite way. Whoops. So the brightness should have gone down a bit. Like, yeah. Maybe there. It might not be enough. About 40. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so now I am on the right layer, yes? I am. Okay, let's go ahead and fill that in. You know what? Now that I think about it, there was some mocking that was going on over my sun over here. My ray of my sun that's indicating light. I was mocked for it. So I'm going to address that right now by doing this. So let's go ahead and let's make, oh no. You know what? Yeah. Let's make a circle. All right. Let's make a nice, simple circle. Okay. And then let's go ahead and drawing assist. Where's my drawing assist? Is it? Oh no, it's straight lines. I don't want straight lines. I want symmetry. Okay. Oh, I have to modify it. Hold on. Let's go ahead and modify that. And oh, I might have to sneeze again. Hold on, let me Nope, I think that started out as a sneeze and it vanished. Fine with me. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and do something here. So we're gonna do this. All right, nice shining sun here. There we go. Perfect. We'll turn our assist off. We don't need that anymore. Do another layer. And let's do something like this. And we'll do this. Kind of the classic smiling sun. There's been a million variations of this idea. I'm sure you've seen something like this before. Oh, I'm going to turn that drawing assist thing is throwing me off now because it's in the center of my vision. So let's just go ahead and do that. Right. Let's give the sun a nice little chin here. And we'll do a little Fred Hembeck thing. If you don't know who Fred Hembeck is, look it up. And there we go. So there's our sun, which I am now making mockery-proof. People making fun of my sun and my sunlight, my sun rays. Well, the mockery is over now because the sun is now a professional source of light. See that? There we go. There you go, sun. There you go, buddy. Don't let him make fun of you, pal. You look fine. You're a good son. Okay, so you know what? Because I'm a buffoon, let's go ahead and do some sun rays that are slightly different color. We're gonna drop those brightnesses. Oh, same layer. Sorry, I meant to go on this layer. There we are. So let's drop that brightness down a bit, just a bit. Drop that saturation down. There we are. Actually, I wonder, the rays should be brighter, not lower. Let's go up and make them more intense. Yeah, yeah. There we go. So we'll take this out. Take that out. Take all this out. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Right. Let's take this. Go down here. Let's do that. It's behind, so I can color pretty carefree until I get to the points. The pointy bits of it. And this stream is going to be me making the sun. To some degree. Probably is. That's okay. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's turn off those other colors so that I can see my sun here. Yeah, there we are. Sunny day. Bum, 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 bum. I can't sing, so I'm not going to. I will not embarrass myself further by attempting to sing because I can't. So, all right. Oh, that tells me there's a little part missing there. That's one thing I like about doing underpainting for stuff. You can see where your seams are by using the color. Oh, jeez. Oh, my dog is stretching out. She had a... Hi, yeah, I'm talking about you. She had a good day because she hadn't been able to go to work with my wife last week. She stayed home with me, but it was very boring for her because you can't let her do anything. Just had to keep her calm and make sure she wasn't doing anything that could damage her gums. So she was less than thrilled. Plus, it's hot. It's 91 degrees today. I mean, it was 91. Let's see. What is it? Oh, okay, it says 85. I don't believe it's actually that cool, but it said 91 on the little outdoor thermometer thing. Regardless, ridiculous that it's already this warm. We had a couple nice, really, really nice. I mean, I just wish it was like 70 all the time. I know it obviously can't be 70 all the time, but if it was around that, you know, LA weather, I guess. But I'm not going to LA for LA weather. I mean, it's nice, but still LA. Well, I don't like 91, that's for sure. And it just doesn't rain enough. So it's, you know, I mean, the heat's bad enough. Although I will admit, it's nice to not have to worry about humidity in California. That's pretty nice. But I just wish we had more cool days. It would be nice to have a really nice kind of temperate fall and spring. It just feels like you get so few of those really perfect days in between the big... I mean, not that winter really means anything here. The winter here is a joke. But still, like, I do miss those, you know, you would just get these long stretches. Yeah, hey, look at that, huh? Yeah, there we go. All right. Bing, 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 bing. I mean, you can't really see it behind that, but that's okay. I'm going to do one other thing. Let's go ahead and use that color. Let's do this. I don't think there is a... I don't think there's a, what do you call it, brush where it, like, grades it out. I don't think there is one. I don't... No. No. What that look like? Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there is that type of thing. It would be nice to be able to draw a gradient, but I don't think there's any type of brush that accomplishes... maybe this. Let's see. Yeah, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Yeah, I mean... The hair one's kind of... Actually, you know what? I don't mind that. Hold on. That's not bad. Let's bump that up to 30 and let's see what this looks like. Why did it not get... Does it get thinner this way? Wow, for a second it looked really good. Now it looks bad. Okay. Fine. Let's try... Not flames. Let's try... What about abstracts? Nah, yeah, I don't know if that's going to look right. Wow. No. I mean, that's something. It looks like something, but I don't know what. It's not what I want, so... No, thank you. Let's try a medium airbrush. Yeah, the problem is... You know what? I am way overthinking this. Let's go with a taper pen. Yeah, okay. Let's bump that way up. Like 20, and let's do... Oops. Well, I do want it to be straight. There we go. Okay, that's not straight. That's not straight. There we go. Much better. Alright, now let's... We're on the paintbrush. Let's get the paint thing. Let's get rid of all that. And we'll just clean all those rays up. And there we go. See? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and just merge that stuff down. Now we have our nice little happy sun down there. Happy little sun. Happy little sun. Okay, anyway. Okay, now I just have to cough really quick because I breathed wrong. There we go. Probably a sign I need water. Which on any warm day is highly advised. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Now these petals on the original, on the actual piece itself, have these little lines on them, which I kind of like. So I think what I'm going to do is find them. Where are they in here? Here they are. Well, some of them. That's the diamonds. That part's fine. I'm looking for the actual petals. Where are the petals? Oh, that's the lines. No, they're not there. They're probably up here. Okay, here we go. Right. Okay. Let's go one more layer here. check the size. Probably need to make, yep, need to make that smaller. Let's go down to, I don't know, 3 maybe? Okay. And now let's do, because I just kind of like these lines. So I'm just going to do this. Come on. There we go. There's like 3 or 2? I think there's 2. Let's start, yeah, so just like a band, like that. Yeah, there we go. Just simple. Doesn't have to be, not going to get too exact on this, just to give it the idea of it. There we are. Oh, let's go ahead. Let's just, oh, whoa, that's a huge eraser. These are, the colors on these are interesting. They're kind of like a deep purple almost. So let's put that color in. So something like, I almost want to say it's something like that, but in this interesting unsaturated color. I kind of like that. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the mic there. Yeah, let's use that. Let's put that into the color range down here. And we'll put that, let's put it, it's got to go above the plants. Just as a guidance type of thing. Yeah, because I think they're actually probably some form of black, but I don't want to go with, I don't want to do black on them. I want to do, you know, like this. This is still a pretty dark purple. And then the diamonds, that diamond pattern appears to be just faux diamonds. So that we can actually make white. White, which I usually use as kind of a base layer color. So let's go ahead and make this background hot pink, just so I can see everything. Here we are. Let's get back to that white layer. We'll shoot that with straight white. There we are. Just to fill that in. And this is white being the base layer. Black is almost always my top layer, and then white is almost always the most base layer, the furthest down. So everything goes on top of white, and everything goes under black. Kind of a comic book coloring approach to things. Just the simplest way. It just makes it really easy. I don't know if that's, you know, actually how colorists do anything. It's how I've decided to do things because I find it easier. Whether there's actually any merit to that or not, I couldn't. Why is that so muted though? Oh, that's why. Because I had that white background there. Well, we really don't need that anymore. Whoops. Stay inside the lines, though. Stay inside the lines. Here we are. Just simple white. Nothing too complicated or complex. Because it doesn't all have to be. There are many artists in the world who work in complexity. I am not one of them. At least not with stuff like this. Oil painting. I am going to try something, I think, this weekend. Assuming it isn't blisteringly hot again. I think I'm going to go back into a painting I've already done and do a second layer of color on it. I'm meaning to try it. I'm going to actually do it. I've also thought about using paint pens for kind of fine detail, because the thing about oil painting is, painting in general for me is such a lack of control for me. It's just... It's very, very frustrating to not have fine, precise detail, color, or control. Just not something I'm used to. So I think I may try getting some paint pens. Actually, what is that? Let me just see. Oh, that's just empty space. See, there's a trick that's not easy to keep an eye on here, which is, you know, the idea of, oh, see, went into the white because white is a lower layer. So I have to be careful because everything goes over white. So I have to be a little bit more careful. Okay, that's still behind the brown, so that's good. Yeah, see, like I gotta use a fine brush there because that will just blow the white right out. But yeah, I've thought of that because with my biggest frustration with painting is the lack of precision. It's the reason I won't even touch watercolor. I just won't, because watercolor by its very nature is a very loose medium. Don't get me wrong. I say that I am thoroughly shocked and impressed by people who have precise, tight control of watercolor. And I just think it must be a natural gift they have to have, because I just can't even imagine how they do it. To be able to, because watercolor, to me, one of the things that's interesting about watercolor is it does have this looseness to it. But these people can just tame that stuff. And it's mystifying to me how they do it. But I can't remember the artist's name. There's a woman, I just saw her work, and I'm pretty sure it is watercolor. Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's such beautiful work. It really is. It's just amazing. And I just think, wow. I mean, even if it isn't watercolor, whatever medium and it is paint. I know it's some kind of paint. It's just, it's dazzling. It's unbelievable. Where you just sit there and you see somebody who has this ability to control a medium that, I mean, there are people who work with brushes like brush and ink, like Coop, the artist, and he does this really fine line work. I don't know how he does it. I can't get that kind of control with a brush. That's why I kind of like doing the Bob Ross stuff, because so much of it is very loose. You're just kind of moving paint around, but there's not generally a lot of hard, small, tight edges or defined spots. And that makes it easier in my mind. So it really is amazing. One of the things that I hope I never, ever, ever lose. For however many years I occupy space on this floating rock, I hope I never lose my sense of wonder at what other artists can do. I doubt I will. I really can't imagine what would cause that. But it really is something to just be able to appreciate what artists who work in very different mediums are able to do. And to some degree, to be honest, I'm kind of happy that I don't get a lot of it in terms of understanding the technique, because I think the mystery of, wow, how do they do that, is just more impressive to me. And I like it that way. I like the idea that I cannot wrap my head around how these people form the images they make. It's one of those things that just, for all the time, so many things in our lives, and depending on how old you are, that may be more or less time. But human beings have been walking around on this rock for however many thousand years. Many of them, with very little idea of what was going on outside the cave they were in. But even with whatever you call it, enlightenment, education, knowledge, so many things have changed in how we interact with the world. I mean, you just look at how people got around 100 years ago. You look at what people wore 100 years ago, how they talked, the words that were being used are so radically different. Disease and the ability to treat things. You go further back and people were dying at astonishingly young ages because we just didn't know a lot of things. So a person from 100 years ago, or somebody who lived to be 100, has seen such drastic change in their lives in terms of the world and the ability to communicate. All these things. But even in cars, cars 100 years ago were radically different than they are now. Almost unrecognizable. Even within my lifetime, just the idea of, I think I'm of the last generation that remembers no internet all the time, that internet was a new thing, that kind of stuff. But one thing that hasn't changed, one thing that has not altered, that has been consistent, is imagination, and people who can imagine things. And why am I not seeing that? Why is that not filling in? It should be filled. Oh, I know why. The power of creativity and imagination. That has stayed as consistently amazing as it always has been. The avenues of creativity have changed. The ways that people express themselves and the avenues that they take to bring whatever's inside them out. Those things have changed. Literally, in my lifetime, I've gone from there are no iPads to doing most of my art and this type of thing on an iPad. Even a decade ago, streaming something like this probably would have not worked very well if it worked at all. Wait, did my screen freeze? That's funny. Oh, my screen froze. So, wow, you've all missed quite a bit. Hold on a minute. See, I'm talking about modern technology. Hold on, let me fix that. 2 seconds, please. And re-mirror that. And there we go. There we go. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize it had frozen. I was so busy just jabbering on over here. But, yeah, the one thing that has not changed in all of that has been the fact that, you know, every generation of people has somebody who comes along who looks at something so differently than everybody else and is able to, you know, I mean, there are the great artists of every age, and there always will be. People who are, for whatever reason, selected by the populace as the, you know, the best artist, even if that phrase means nothing, by the way. Best artist is probably one of the dumbest phrases we've ever managed to keep reusing. There is no best artist. Whatever art speaks to you is the best art. It does not matter what level of technical competency is involved there. Like technical competency means anything. It's not, you don't test for it like you do with math. Math is something that you can test on. Multiplication could only work the one way. You know, 2 times 2 is going to be 4. There is not a interpretation of what 2 times 2 is. But what constitutes good art is there is no definition. That's one of the things that I love so much about it. It is whatever makes you respond is the best art there is. And those things can change and shift over time. Again, one of these things that has been a constant is that creative expression just doesn't have it doesn't have a limit. It doesn't have a particular form factor that it fits in. And I think that is quite spectacular. What layer was this? Has to be a high number. 78? That's the one. And let's go with pure black here. We'll keep going here. So, I don't know where that I started with that idea. I don't know where that came from. But, whatever. That's something I don't mind repeating often, over and over and over, is that's the value of it. So, yeah, I really don't know where I started that thought from. That's true of most of my thoughts, is where did that start from? Oh, well, don't bother trying to figure it out. It doesn't actually matter. And it doesn't. Oh, my dog is really snoring. She has had a busy day. Oh, I think I was saying, because now she went back to work with my wife after a week stuck at home with me. And she got to see lots of people. She loves seeing people. People love seeing her. She's a sweet dog. She recovers from her dental surgery, which so far appears to be going just perfectly. No complications, no problems, which is exactly what I wanted. So things are going well thus far. She gets her checkup on Saturday. Let's just make sure everything looks good. And she, outside of the first day where she was really loopy, understandable. Now she's just really annoyed because we had to hide most of her toys, because you have to be careful that they're not chewing on stuff that can, damage the stitches that are in. So she normally has a mountain of toys to select from. And currently she really only has 2, because only 2 of them are missing, squeakers or hard things. And so the other ones are currently in storage. I don't know why I'm whispering. She won't know what I'm saying, but still. Like most animal owners, I do tend to treat my dog like a person. So she doesn't know. She knows, the thing I think she really misses is she has a squeaky, not a tennis ball, but kind of an equivalent of one that a company called Chuck It makes, which unfortunately she can't run chase after it anymore because of arthritis, and you know, her hips are not great, so we can't really throw it and let her chase anymore, which I'm sad about. It's sad when you can't do that kind of stuff with your dog when they enjoy it, but if we do it, she'll run and then she'll be limping, so can't do it. Just can't do it. But that is basically her. We call it her comfort, because she always carries it around outside, and unfortunately she tends to chew on it, so we had to hide that too. And like today when she came home, she's used to just running to that when she gets in the door, and she was looking for it. But you know what? That's okay. It's to make sure that those gums heal. You know, that's what you have to do. It's certainly not going to be anywhere near as long a recovery as when her hips were done. That was about a 6. It really ended up being more like 7-month recovery. It took a while because they said, well, if you're going to do the hips, do them both at once. Just get it all over with, because it's a lot easier than having to have her go through it twice. And while it was, I'm sure, no fun for her, and it wasn't exactly a joyride for us either, I think they were right. Doing it all in one shot and just getting it over with was the way to go. Wait, I heard the thing. Oh, hey, Timber Dragon. Happy Monday. Welcome to the stream. I don't know why I'm singing these words, because I can't sing. Let's go to lair. How are you doing? I hope all is well with you. Hopefully you're not suffering really hot temperatures like we are here, or at least not as hot, because it's no fun. Even with air conditioning, it's no fun. Although I can't even imagine what not having air conditioning. I know a lot of people in like the UK don't have air conditioning and they've had hot days. I don't know. I don't know how people do it. I really do not. Not having air conditioning. I have been exceptionally fortunate. In my life, I have never not had air conditioning. I don't know what I would do if our air conditioner did break for a couple days. Which, speaking of which, I am going to have that company come out and check it and make sure we're not about due for any problems, because it is getting hot. I will not have them come out until it cools down a little bit, though. I don't want anybody having to go up on the roof in this heat. That's just not fair to anybody. But yeah, I've always had air conditioning. I really just can't imagine not having it. Ugh. Oh, hey, chill mode. Monday is the worst. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Mondays. I wouldn't say I love Monday. But not every Monday. Mondays are... I mean, every day is variable, to be honest. Every day can have its ups and downs. So... But since I was just speaking about heat, I'm going to get a quick drink of water, so bear with me a second. Wow, 4 viewers. Man, this thing spiked in the last 5 minutes. Ah, delicious. I'm not going to say there's no drink that's as good as cold water, but there's not many. Cold water is pretty great. I quite enjoy cold water. Let's see, that little green spot is going to bug me if I don't get it. So let's take care of that right now. Let's make sure we don't have anything else like that around. Yep. Get this one. I think that's this layer. It is. Thank you. I have to do the earrings. That's right. I'll do those. Let's just check here. Because if I find it later, it's going to bug me. So might as well just look now. Quick scan. Oh, look at that. Sure enough. Oh, sorry. I think I startled my dog a little bit. She just woke up. Sorry, didn't mean to disturb your beauty sleep. Feel free to go back to sleep. It's fine. It's just me. Just me. Okay, we're good there. They're probably... I was going to say, I knew it. I was going to say, there's probably other spots I got to find. This nice super neon pink color helps with that, that's for sure. It really does point out the little gaps and mistakes and stuff that got missed. That's why I like using that bright... I guess you'd call it a magenta color. I guess that's what that color is. Oh, and now it dropped back down to 2. So that was brief. 2 people stopped in and bailed right out. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I've done that. I can't pretend I haven't stopped into streams and vaporized 2 seconds later. It does happen. Okay, so let's go back up. Let's close the colors down. Let's go back up to layer 78, I think. That's it. That one's done. Okay, hold on a minute. Just want to see something. Yeah, I'm realizing now that the lines on the actual thing go further in. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. It'll look nicer with some variation anyway. So we're gonna make. Oh, that one's okay, and that one's okay, but some of these other ones need to be further in. Kind of like, well, wait a minute, I need more than that. Kind of like that, maybe? Just kind of taking up more of the actual petal or leaf, whatever. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, much better. Makes it look like there's a little bit of size progression on it, too. So let's go ahead and just redo these. Because honestly, it doesn't take that much time or effort. It's pretty simple to just do that. There we are. That. There we are. That. Okay. This one isn't as far. And that one's not as far. There we are. Okay. And yeah, we gotta redo these. These look terrible. It was really looking at these that made me think, I don't know if I like how that looks. And big shock, I didn't. So something like that, better. Something like that, better. Yeah, see, just thickening those out a little bit. Actually, wait a minute. There should be. Oh, no, because yeah, that's not. That looks fine. I was getting myself mixed up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, actually, yeah, I guess there should be a second line, shouldn't there? Really should be. There should be a line there, a line there. Now that I look at it, line there, line there, line there. Yeah, that's better. 6:56. 6:56 Pacific time. Which means the San Francisco Giants have been playing baseball for about 15 minutes. So I will be, let's see, what are we looking at? Make sure that the thing didn't freeze again. Did it freeze? It did freeze! Wow, look at that. I'm glad to hear that, chill mode. I don't know why I didn't hear a noise when you typed that. That's really strange. Hold on a minute. Let me fix this. Because it decided to freeze again. Guess it doesn't like the heat either. Hold on. There we go. And blue. There we go. Okay. Okay, so those are fine. I didn't do those yet. We're gonna fix these because these aren't far enough in. So get rid of that. That one's okay. That one's okay. That one's fine. So it's just the one. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, so we'll do that. That's better. And these. Oh God, these are terrible. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the volume so loud, but geez, those were ugly looking to me. So let's fix that. Wasn't trying to spike the volume on you there. So these should actually have a second line, and then the big third line to kind of give you that spacing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the Giants. They're doing well. They're doing well. They are a constantly underestimated, boy, I had to work to form that word. A routinely underestimated team. Wow. Amazing how much effort it took me to get that word out. I mean, did it freeze again? It did. It froze again. Wow, that's really weird. It usually isn't this bad. Hold on. I wonder why it's freezing so much. Oh, wow. Yeah, it just completely... Oh, okay, now it actually wants me to re-enter the thing. So it really lost its connection there. Hold on, it's coming back. Boy, there we go. It crashed hard that time. Yeesh. I mean, it's okay. We're at 45 minutes, and I was looking at about a 50-minute stream, so or an hour stream. So if it keeps crashing, then I'll just call this one early. That's okay. All right. Let's do a second layer, just to make sure I don't hit anything here. That one. Yeah, I wonder why I didn't hear the noise. Wait, did I mute? No, the sound's on. That's really strange. Oh, whatever. Some nights the thing wants to cooperate, and some nights it don't. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's okay. This is one of the reasons I put all this stuff on the YouTube for people to watch later, because it does. I'll say this: as much as it frees, I've had so many drivers issues lately. Now, see, yeah, I'm on a Mac, so supposedly there ain't supposed to be a lot of driver issues with this thing. It's supposed to just work, right? Yeah. Well, you can probably tell from my tone that I don't buy into that. The Mac has not just worked the way it used to in quite a while. But yes, when it comes to Windows, yeah. But I mean, that's, we could sit here and start a 2-hour-long discussion on how Windows is its own worst enemy and drivers is part of it. But the legacy stuff in Windows is its biggest problem. And for those who don't know, one of the things that Windows has done, or not done, is they really haven't changed the core way that the OS works in I don't even know how long. Because Windows is so used in businesses that they can't take a risk that a piece of software that's worked for 30 years somewhere in a closet that runs the entire billing operation for XYZ company suddenly stops working. So it's their biggest problem is that they have been unwilling for some reason, and I'll be honest, I don't get it. Why they haven't, they shouldn't abandon legacy Windows. You don't want to leave all these people out in the cold, right? Because for businesses, they don't want to have to update things often. They just want things to keep working, especially if it's a simple program and it happens to work. Why spend a bunch of money on a new computer? Makes sense. I understand that. I certainly, I don't have any problem with that. But I don't know why Microsoft hasn't said at some point, okay, we're going to split Windows now. We're going to have Windows Classic or Legacy or whatever for everybody who just needs it to work the way it always worked. But for anybody who is ready for something new and fresh and clean and doesn't mind, because I reinstall Windows pretty often and I blow everything away and start over. Because it's the best way to do it. And I don't know why they haven't been willing to do that with the OS in general, to say, you know what, we've been running the same basic framework of Windows for like 60 years or whatever. I don't know the exact number of years, but it's been around for a while. It's probably not 60 years, probably let's say 30 years, 40 years. It's time for a clean break. So we're going to leave the support for this older version, or this legacy version of Windows, for everybody who really just needs that stuff to keep working the way it did. But for everybody else who's willing to do something different and wants to, have this thing get charged up a little bit and get a little bit of a new approach. Here's Windows New. Windows 2025, whatever. Windows Next. Come up with whatever name you want. I don't know why they don't do that. I really don't. It's baffling to me. I don't believe for a second they don't have the engineering talent. I'm sure they do. There's lots of good engineers that work at Microsoft. So why not have a clean version of what you've got? And let people who don't need all that old stuff be free of it. It just seems like such a... Not only that, in many households, they'd probably be selling 2 copies of Windows. Because people would keep the old version for, like the family machine or whatever, and then they'd buy a new one for the laptop that they're kind of messing around with. Like I said, it just seems like such an easy thing to do. And I think a lot of people would be... Oh, there, the beep's working again. Let's see. I'm with you. I can't stand it either. I'm still on Windows 10. Yeah, that's what I'm. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Man, I'm really sneezing. Where's the thing? Oh, I gotta mute. Oh boy, that was a good one. That was a dry sneeze, which is my favorite kind. No residue, just a clean sneeze. Yeah, I don't get it. Because like I said, people like to bag on Windows, and I get it. It's easy to, say, oh, Windows sucks. But the reality is, there's a lot of really good people that work at Windows. There are. It's easy to make fun and pretend there isn't, but that's not true. It really isn't. There are good engineers who work there. And I'm sure those people, internally, wow, I really got to fix that. I am positive that internally, I want to try that PowerShell command called massgrave. You can activate any version for free, supposedly. Oh, interesting. Hey, try it out. Tell me how it goes. I'd be curious. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Windows doesn't do that. Like I said, they just seem to be leaving money on the table there. Because I think a lot of people would say, yeah, you know what? I'll pay whatever to be able to try a new clean version of the OS. Because you still can't beat it for gaming. I mean, Mac doesn't have anything that compares. Their gaming presence, which is barely any presence at all, is nothing. So people, and it's a large segment of people who play games, gamers, hardcore gamers, casual gamers, whatever. They're still primarily going to be on Windows. You're going to keep those people. And in fact, you could get more people. So I just do not understand why they don't do it. I'm sure it will cost some money, and there's, clean that up really quick. So, but still, it's weird. Obviously, there's got to be somebody who says no internally that just doesn't think it's a good idea. But I would tell that person that I think you've got that one backwards there, whoever you are. Because I think maybe you should think about it. Of course, I'm not a CEO running a major company, so what do I know? I had a Win 10 Pro activation code that worked for many years, recently stopped working. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Let people run what they want to run. And I know there's people who argue, oh, well, there's security. Well, hey, listen, if people want to accept whatever the security risk is, let them accept it. It's fine. Have them, click on a bubble that says, I accept the fact that I am running on a legacy OS and that there may be security threats and I am not holding Microsoft responsible. You check that box, you're clean, you're done. It'll hold up in court. What are you worried about? Nothing. You know what I mean? Just let them do it. I love a decent version of that. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Same here. I mean, unfortunately, everything's going that way, which I really hate. Well, I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of it is. And that also is a larger 3-hour kind of conversation about why everything is like that. Because it absolutely does not have to be. And I think it's pretty garbagey that it is. But that's the modern world. There's always got to be more revenue coming in. We just have to keep making more and more money. More money! What's that? There's 50 cents that we haven't made. We need to make that 50 cents. Even if it means we're irritating our customers. Do it anyway. Okay, that's stupid, but go ahead. Why not? And they wonder why people just don't want to, subscriptions going up all the time. Blah, 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 like garbage. When there's really marginally nothing better about it. I know people like to complain about Adobe and their subscriptions, but I'll tell you what, they are constantly updating things. I got to give them that credit. They do frequently update stuff. So that's one of the few things where I'm like, you know what? I don't mind it. That's right. It never can go down. Never. And if it starts to go down and we can't make more money by bilking people of their cash, then we'll just start laying people off, and that makes the lines go up, which is itself just a terrible thing that's going on an awful lot lately. Just, all over the place with this stuff, and it just It's just terrible. Because it's just a temporary fix, you know? Instead of the reality that, you know, there's only so much money in the world. And can't you be satisfied that you're making some money? That can't be enough? Okay. But I guess it can't. Then again, like I said, I'm not a CEO, so what do I know? I'm just a dummy lobbing spitballs from the sidelines. Well, you know what? Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Oh, I did this. I didn't realize I made the background the same color as the shirt. That was not intentional. Let me shift the color to something that's different. There we go. Just so the shirt sticks out. Yeah, there we go. I think I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, you know what? Let me do that really quick. Let me color these in really quickly. And then I'll be done with the stream for tonight. So let's grab this color. Let's look for that. Let's go up one. Get the regular brush, swipe that. We're going to knock that brightness down by, let's do 45. No, let's do 42. I like 40. 42 is a good amount. There we go. Let's grab that. Let's go ahead and fill this in. Line goes up and never down. Boy, you hit it on the head right there. That's it. That is it. You know, it's too bad. It's too bad. Lots. You just see it every single thing. I'm looking at like Discord. I feel like Discord is really close to being that now, because you can just see that they're starting to creep towards. Okay, we've been successful for a long time. How can we make ourselves seem more successful? You know. And I feel like 2-3 years from now, maybe not that long, Discord is going to get radically terrible. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I just feel like they all end up going that way. And it is all in that pursuit of just how can we get everybody thinking that there's just more and more money, that there's some amount of cash somewhere that somebody else hasn't tried to chase, and we're going to be the ones to get there. We'll do it. Hooray! We're the ones who are going to crack the code. All right. We'll see. We'll see what's left of your customer base once you get there. Will it be worth it when you've destroyed all the goodwill that you used to have? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, kind of what Spez did. Yeah. Boy, yeah, the shame of it is just, it just seems inevitable. It just feels like there's nobody who's not eventually gonna succumb to that. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think more often than not, if you actually dig down, it's not necessary. Well, that's the mentality. You're right. That's the mentality. Is we have to just keep getting investors. That's the thing. It's all chasing the infinite growth cycle, which is just nonsense. Because anybody with, 3 brain cells that can get along inside their skull knows that there's no such thing as infinite growth. And yet the myth of that and the pursuit of that just won't go away. And again, I don't know why having a product that makes some amount of money, enough for you to be able to survive and pay your employees and maintain the product, why does it have to be so far beyond that? Why can't it be that a sustainable model is acceptable? I don't know. I really don't. I don't get it. And I don't, that's not, I don't, I'm not enough of a historian to know. Like, I'm not going to pretend I'm that smart. But I just wonder if it was always like this, or if it has become, massively accelerated. Because I feel like, talking to my parents and talking to people who are older, they don't act like this was always the way it was. So and not to say that nobody ever wanted to make money. Of course people want to make money. That always happens. Oh, my screen froze again. Hold on. I just noticed it. 2 seconds. Yeah, definitely getting close to being done here because this thing just keeps freezing. So, hold on. Turn that. There we go. So, yeah, I mean, the idea of making money is not new. But the idea of making money at all cost, or even worse to me, projecting the illusion of making money at the cost of the goodwill of the people that you once took care of. I don't know. That just seems like a toxic cycle to get locked into. And I feel like that's what we're locked into. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an economist. I'm not a historian. I'm not some great mind. I'm just a dopey artist drawing stuff on the internet. So what do I know about anything? Nothing. I don't know a thing. Like I said, that's just how it feels to me. But maybe not. Maybe this stuff maybe there'll be a reversal of it. Probably thank people like Jobs that inspired people. Yeah, I know the mythos of Steve Jobs as the great genius of the technological world has bugged me for a long time. Not to say that he didn't absolutely recognize certain things way ahead of other people, particularly, he did understand the idea of you don't have to be first to do something. You have to recognize what people want the thing to do and craft something that is the best possible thing to use for people. That has become, the thing that Apple's done best. But does that erase how he treated people? And there again, that's another one. I feel like you're right. The Jobs thing is a really good example because a lot of other people in leadership roles have adopted this attitude that, hey, if I'm getting something done, I don't need to be nice to people because it's worth it. The whole move fast and break things mentality, which I find that disgusting. I think it's terrible. It just, because if you take that approach and you push it all the way, you're just going to ruin people. Like crunch in gaming, this idea that, because the game has to ship on this date, you shouldn't see your family for 2 weeks because you have to stay here and make sure that, the physics on a box falling down and hitting somebody in the head are perfect. Why? What video game has ever been so important that it's worth somebody's mental health or physical health to finish it? None. There's never been one. There's never going to be one. I've played video games all my life. Not a single one could I not live without if I knew it would mean that somebody was able to work decent hours. I'd be fine waiting. Sorry. That does bother me because there's a lot of that happens too. And we know that. And it still goes on no matter how much a lot of companies are like, oh, no, we're not doing that. And then you find out, yes, they are. They're absolutely doing it. And it's just unnecessary. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this under the dark layer so at least it'll be easier to color the base part because I want it to be as careful there. So, yeah, it's all that stuff is interrelated. It's all connected. It all comes out of the same idea that, it really is the old idea or the old philosophy that the end justifies the means. The ends justify the means. Well, if we make a game that's so magnificent that it sells 1 billion copies, then it was worth doing this to these people. No, it wasn't. Yeah, sorry, I do feel like I'm just, on a soapbox now, and I'm not trying to be. But I'm just saying, it's like, that stuff bothers me. Especially because a lot of times, people don't even recognize the people who, Mr. Pruitt, welcome. Yeah, that's a different thing. If it's something that somebody is devoted to from their own initiative, okay, fine. But I think that's a lot rarer, the idea of people choosing to do that as opposed to feeling driven to do it. There is a difference there. I think people talk themselves or are talked into doing things that they think is from their own initiative. But, you know, there's a thing that I've seen this, and I've told people don't fall for this garbage, where, you know, somebody, if you're part of a team or whatever, and you've worked however many hours and you're tired, and you want to go home, and the guilt of, well, others are going to stay and keep working because you left. Do you really think that's fair? Yeah, it is. If you're tired and you need to go rest, go rest. Those other people could go rest too. I don't like that either. And there's a lot of that goes on. Like I said, I have pulled people aside and said, don't fall for that. There was a guy I know who had a chipped tooth and he was bleeding. And some service was down. And he went into work, and I said, you are out of your mind to be going to work when you are bleeding from your mouth. Who cares? We're not talking about 911 services or life-saving, whatever. This was not anything that anybody was ever going to die because that service wasn't up. And this individual felt guilty for, you know, having to potentially go to the dentist to get his tooth fixed. And I'm like, you are nuts. I'm like, I personally have never worked a job where I would think twice about putting the job second. You know, yeah, okay, if I was rescuing people off mountains or something like that, you know, doing like EMT helicopter rescue, well, that's different. That's, you know, literal life and death. I've never had a job like that. So this guy telling me he's going in with a bleeding mouth, I'm like, okay. You at some point are going to realize that you have inverted your priorities, because, man, hopefully nobody who ever depends on you has to make you have a choice between your job and helping them out. And I say that, I freely admit, as somebody in a privileged position where I have the financial ability, or so far have had to, where I can walk away from a job. So I know not everybody has that ability. But if you do and you choose the job over yourself, I just feel like there's going to be a point where somebody's going to figure out they can exploit you for it. But again, that's just me. Not everybody thinks the way I do. That's probably good. Most people don't think the way I do. But I just sit there and go, I don't know. Does not seem to me like a recipe for a long time. Oh, by the way, Mr. Pruitt, I don't know if you were here earlier, but there you go. Just for you, I fixed the sun. Yeah, I've had teammates that would say go rest, and it was like tandem, like a true cooperation team. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's the thing, is pride and being, because I've gotten wrapped up in things and worked long hours because I really wanted to finish the thing. That's a different thing. But yeah, there you go. Now the sun isn't as ridiculous. See? Happy sun. Yeah, that's something else. Pride and work, and like I said, you get wrapped up. Like I in college, I did, back when I could go and do like an all-nighter on work, I would stay up to finish an art piece because I was really like into it. Like it was working, and I didn't want to stop because I kind of felt like it was flowing correctly. You know, that's a different thing too. But I feel like people mix those two things up a lot. They start to feel like pride in their work requires them to harm themselves, and I don't think that's a good thing. I reused my title. Oh, you mean the post like the Instagram? I reuse the same one all the time. I reuse them all the time. I don't care. You know what? People end up showing up. They figure it out. I don't need to keep changing it. It's so basic. Like ArtStream, come find it. That's it. I just don't feel like I have to keep changing that, but you're right. I reuse it. It's been the same. If you look through my posts on these, they are identical for probably the last year and a half. I just literally copy and paste the text. The same MP4, the same image. It's all the same. This is where the stuff is different. So, yes, I agree. That's you hit it. They will figure out the passionate people, and if they can, they will exploit them. Well, on that note, I'm now going to take a break because I can feel the warm spot on the iPad heating up, which means that it's It's already been freezing a bunch, so I don't want to push it too far because I don't want to make it angry at me because I like my iPad. It works very well for me. But I feel like I got a lot done. I got a nice happy sun. We got some more colors. We got the petals, and we got some. I'm kind of pushing off doing all the leaves because I'm going to do all the individual leaves on those plant stalks. That's going to take a while. So I will do it. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Yeah, I'll turn the background off just so you can see it without it. So hold on. Yeah, there it is with the background. So it's coming along. I like it. I probably will soften up that edge over there on the side of the face. I don't really like how harsh that line is, but that's easy enough to do. But all right, let me do this. Nope. This. There we go. And as I typically do, if I remember to do it correctly, I would like to tell everybody, hey, thanks for stopping by, Chill Mode. It was nice seeing you again. Thank you for hanging out for a bit. And as I like to do at the end of every stream, I will remind everybody, go find a creator that you enjoy and do something to support that creator. Because, oh, sure, Mr. Pruitt, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I know that a lot of times I start these and, oh, you know, my schedule is just a mess. I don't do anything with any real consistency, to be honest. But yeah, you can catch old episodes of these over on the YouTube channel. So if you want to see the older ones where I do all different stuff, they're there. Go watch those. But yeah, go find a creator, somebody who could use your help, and support them in some way. If you can support them monetarily, do that. If you just can leave them a nice review or tell them you like their work, do that. If you can share their work so other people can see it, do that. Not everything has to be monetary. We tend to think that way, but that's not what support is. I mean, it can be, but it doesn't have to just be that. Because not everybody has money to be able to spare. And if you don't, take 5 minutes to tell somebody you like what they do. It's going to mean more than you think it does. That's as important, I think, to creators, is just to know that there's somebody that appreciates their work. That's going to be as important as giving them money. If you can give them money, by all means, give them some money. But if you can't, then do what you can to try to get them in front of other people who may have the money to give it to them. So it's all the little things. All these little things add up. And creators need as much help as you can give them. Trust me when I tell you, I talk to a lot of them. And most of, in fact, none that I know are making any big bucks. So anything you can do to help in any way will be appreciated. On that note, hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your week. And until the next stream, thanks for hanging out for a while. And until next time, take care.